Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Terence Crystal, and welcome back to another episode of the Triple Threat Podcast, where I dissect and talk about everything in the arts that I like to talk about. This is another episode where it's just me, myself, and I. Woohoo! It is not because I have no friends, it is because we all have busy schedules. And yeah, like I said before, it's just easier to do it by myself. But I will be having guests come on soon, so don't you worry about that. So we are now in November. Now, my last episode that I uploaded was, I believe, the middle or the end of October, or I think it was the middle of October. And I had every intention of releasing it there and then, but just and it's a combination of both. Life really got hectic, and I was really, really busy for almost all of September and literally almost all of October. I had something on almost every day. And then the days where I didn't have something on, I basically was either working or just sleeping. Because my week is so interesting. Other people probably relate to this who are fellow actors who are in the industry. I love that. But usually, our Monday to Thursday or Friday is either auditions, dance classes, or whatever. And then usually we work Thursday to Friday, Thursday to Sunday. Well, for me anyway, other people might relate. I usually work I usually work Thursday to Sunday. That at my muggle job to survive. So by the time Monday gets around, I basically haven't had a weekend or time to relax because I've been working throughout it. So I go straight into Monday and I do all these like classes and these different things and these workshops and just working on myself and my craft. Ugh. So basically, I would say my day off is basically Wednesday almost. Wednesday has become my day off, which is really interesting to me because, yeah, Wednesday's hump day. Bitch, Wednesdays is my Sunday. And other people relate to that too. But nevertheless, we're here. We are fully back. I'm so excited to be back. I've seen a bunch of new stuff. I've really tried to like watch a bunch of stuff as much as I could because, to be honest, by the time I get home from either working or just from hanging out socially, I just want to go straight to bed. And the the complexity of that is that I want to watch something, but my brain tells me, no, Terrence, you can't watch it because you won't be fully engaged with it. So I will just come into my bed, go on TikTok for about an hour, and then just go to sleep. And I'll try and watch something, but I just can't. So that's where we are. So I've been trying really hard to focus on new series, new movies. So what we're going to talk about today, and I'm changing the rules and getup of this podcast because I feel like it's very limiting. So I'm going to talk about three different things that I saw in the past couple of weeks, and I'm going to give full spoilers. But maybe for the first two, I'll try and give as little as I can. But if I end up giving a spoiler, then this is your warning. I'm going to be giving fat fucking spoilers. Yes. So, first thing I'm going to talk about is the new movie by Martin Scorcese, Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, Killers of the Flower Moon is Martin Scorsese's newest film. I'm just going to get up and here at my phone so that I have the exact info that I need and I'm not just pulling guesses out of thin fucking air. So, Killers of the Flower Moon. Yes, there we go. Okay, work. Amazing. So, Killers of the Flower Moon is a 2023 American epic Western crime drama film by Martin Scorsese. And yes, it focuses on the series of murders of the Osage members and relations in the Osage Nation after oil was produced on tribal land. Now, this is a Martin Scorsese film. Classic Martin Scorsese with Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio, classic crime. This has been. It was kind of like on the radar because obviously it's a Martin Scorsese film, and it's an awards darling, and I can definitely see it being nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards, and rightly deserved. Just spoil my review. I really liked it. But it's been in the headlines recently because, as some people know, Martin Scorsese made a couple of comments about Marvel properties. So I'm actually going to look up exactly what he said. Martin Scorsese. Come on. Okay, Martin Scorsese. Okay, get the first two words. Marvel quote. There it is. Okay. Okay, so Martin Scorsese is not a fan of Marvel films. He was asked a question about Marvel films, and he said that they're not for me. That they seem to be closer to theme parks. Theme park movies is what he called them, meaning that they're glitz and glam with no kind of. He said, "I don't think they're cinema." Now, Martin Scorsese said that, and that caused the nerds to fucking shit themselves. And I was one of them as well, because, fun fact, I am a Marvel Cinematic Universe nerd. I love the Marvel films. I've seen everything. I haven't seen Miss Marvel or Secret Invasion. I know one is really good, one is really bad. And excuse me. One's really good, one's really bad. And I'm really excited to see the Marvels. I'm really excited to see it as well because there's been so much hate towards it. And it's because they're women. It's because it's directed by a woman. And just misogyny just lives and breeds in the fucking MCU community, which is sad. But these bitches are trashing the film and calling it the worst thing they've ever seen. And they haven't even seen it. I saw someone on Twitter said why this film is going to be so bad. And it was 3 months before it was supposed to come out. And people were just like, my brother in Christ, what are you doing? Like, you haven't even seen the film and you're already calling it trash. So, and in fairness, Marvel has been going through a rough spot lately. Now, I want to talk about this. I'll get back to the killers in a moment, but I think it's all, and it's my show. I can do what I want. So, Marvel, I find it really interesting. So, ever since 2019, no, ever since really, if we're being exact, Endgame was obviously the end of the Infinity Saga. It actually ended with Spider-Man. Far From Home. Far From Home. So Spider-Man Far From Home was the end of the Infinity Saga. People don't know that, but it's not Endgame. It's actually Spider-Man Far From Home. That is the end of the Infinity phase. And then all of a sudden, we are in 2020, and it is the beginning of 2020, and we're about to go into the new slate of new films, and then obviously the fucking pandemic hits. So the pandemic hits, and it stops all the production on all of these things, all of these items, and causes the schedule to change for all these Marvel films. Now, do I think that affected the quality of product that has been coming from Marvel? Yes, I really do. I believe that it caused everything to go to a halt, and then when it halted, and then when it came back, everyone then scrambled to get something out. So I do believe that the pandemic is an important factor and caused the downfall of quality to the MCU. Now, the new MCU Phase 4 after Endgame was really exciting. It was going to be the multiverse. People are so excited. And it was good. But there were a lot of misses. Whereas the end of Phase 3 with the Infinity Saga had a lot of hits, like consistently was having hits. this is the first time that we saw misses. Now, we started with WandaVision, which is one of my fucking favorite Marvel TV shows of all time. And then we go into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then we go into Spider-Man No Way Home, which was incredible. And then I wonder what was the first big dud. I think the beginning, unfortunately, of the bad, just for lack of a better term, of Marvel is and this is so bad of me to say because I actually really like the film, is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I do believe that that was the beginning of the downfall because even though I really liked the film, I thought it was really well directed. I thought the imagery and the artistry and the direction of the film was unlike any other MCU project we ever seen, and it was finally not boring. And I love the characters. I love what they did. I just think that there was so much expectations that unfortunately the script was quite poor. So that was kind of frowned upon. That received negative reviews. Then after that, we got, I think, Moon Knight. Yeah, it was Moon Knight. No, Moon Knight was before that. And Moon Knight had mixed reviews. I liked Moon Knight, but I didn't like the last episode. I thought it was a bit of a cop-out. But the rest of the series I thought was very good. And then She-Hulk, which I liked it. But a lot of people did not like She-Hulk. And I understand why. She-Hulk is a bit boring at the start, but then it really gets into it. And then I think ultimately what really led to the downfall, and it's so bad to say, but I think the new Thor movie, the Love and Thunder, was the real like nail in the coffin. I think like because Thor Love and Thunder is a very bad movie. It's not a good movie. I really didn't like it. Very bad. And so after that, people couldn't focus on the good things that were coming because even after Thor Love and Thunder, we had Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which was a very good film, which received Academy Awards and nominations, and the first Academy Award for a Marvel actor. Like, fucking A. And then we had Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and now we have Loki Season 2. Then, obviously, we had Secret Invasion, which was bad, and then we had Miss Marvel, which was incredible. And it's just been a flux. So Marvel has been been beaten down because of the quality of some of its products. So people have been saying that Martin Scorsese was right. Now, with Martin Scorsese, with regards to his thing, I believe that what he truly meant was, I think that the cinema industry, the complex cinema industry, is oversaturated with material that is guaranteed to make big studios profit. So, example, Marvel films. Even though, Ant-Man 3, that was meh. I thought it was okay, and I understand why people didn't like it. That was also a big loss. But the cinema industry, who are dependent on these big budget films, kind of cut out the smaller indie films from getting recognized. So I think that's the viewpoint where Martin Scorsese is coming from with regards to Marvel. So anyway, this is all connected. Don't worry, I know I'm going on a tangent, but because people have been giving out about Martin Scorsese shitting on Marvel, whereas his new film is a 3.5 hour long film, people are just like, well, you just said that and Endgame is 3 hours, and it's just like, no, that's not what he's talking about. But anyway, that's why it's been brought up in the news, because of Marvel and Martin Scorsese's rivalry, because the media loves a rivalry. But anyway, Killers of the Flower Moon, yes, it is 3.5 hours long, and I will say I did not feel a single minute of the 3.5 hours. I thought it was extremely well paced. The action, well, not the action, the events that unfold in the movie they unfold really well, and each scene has its purpose. So, like, the person who plays Molly, which is Leonardo DiCaprio's wife, in the film, Lily Gladstone. Yep, just remember her name. She is spectacular as Molly, and she doesn't have a lot of dialogue, but she commands a room with just a look. Like, she says, like, it's to counter Leonardo DiCaprio's blabbering idiot character with Molly's still silent, intelligent character. Molly is very good. I would say this role, Leonardo DiCaprio, he really gives it his all, and it's a really thorough and good performance, even though he is the bad guy. So it basically, Leonardo DiCaprio characters come back. He comes back from the war, and he's living with his uncle, and his uncle lives in the middle of this Osage um, tribal land, and he's like, his family are well connected, and the Osage people, um, they are connected to Robert De Niro's character, and Robert De Niro is like the gang leader, the mob of this area. And Leonardo DiCaprio comes back to him looking for a job, and Robert De Niro is just like, well, I know this girl Molly, who is extremely rich, and her family's extremely rich, and they own a bunch of land. I think you should get involved with her and get married to her so that you can claim her money and that you can help our family as well. It's basically the greed of the white man and how they basically killed a bunch of the Osage people to inherit their money. It's horrible. It's absolutely harrowing. And the ending, especially, will leave you like jaw dropping. And a part of history that is not really relatively talked about. Now, for me, I don't think I can talk about Martin Scorsese's treatment or how he presented the Osage people, because obviously Martin Scorsese is a white man and I am a white man. So I don't believe I have a way of saying it. I will say, however, that I am glad that Martin Scorsese has done his full research and that this film is causing a dialogue to open about the Osage, which is good. Whether or not the movie portrayed them positively or negatively, I can't say. It's starting a dialogue, which is half the battle. However, the way um it's almost barbaric the way that they were treated in this time. And Martin Scorsese really doesn't shy away from that. And it's like, and he doesn't shy away from showing that Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio are the villains. They are the villains. There is no doubt about that. Whereas a film like Wolf of Wall Street, where even though Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Wolf of Wall Street is a bad guy, he is like an asshole. He's the worst type of person, but at the end of the film, he shows that people still look up to that type of person. In this film, Martin Scorsese makes it clear that these people are not good. This is what they did. This is what they did. And they should not be like this. Like, if you're trying to defend them, then I mean, maybe you should look at yourself. But I really liked it. I actually had low expectations going in because when I saw Oppenheimer over the summer, it was obviously another 3-hour epic by a really well-known director. And although I really liked it, I thought the last hour really dragged. So I was watching this film and I was really on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was so excited. I was engaged. And I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. When is this is probably going to drag this though soon. And then it finished and I was just like, wow, that did not drag at all. This was a very good film. Oh, excuse me. If you can't tell, I'm a wee bit sick, but c'est la vie. Yes, Killers of the Flower Moon. I would recommend. This is a film that. So with Oppenheimer, I said in my last episode that Oppenheimer is a film that I would watch once and then I couldn't really watch again. This film I could watch again, but maybe not repeatedly. I couldn't watch it like 6 or 7 times in the space of a month. No way. I could watch it maybe 2 or 3 times in the space of 2 months because I really wanted to see, I really want to actually see the extra details and the Easter eggs, and just it's so beautiful to look at. The cinematography is stunning. Actually, I want to see who's the cinematographer because cinematography, Rodrigo Pierto. Has he done other stuff with Martin? Oh, wait. What's his filmography? R&R. Wait, no. Okay. Feature film. Here we go. Oh, he did The Wolf of Wall Street, of course. Oh my God, he did Barbie? What? No. He did do Barbie. That's crazy. That's crazy. What? Oh my, that's crazy. Wait, I want to Academy Award. He's been nominated 3 times. Wow, I think he's definitely going to win the Oscar this year. Yeah, and the script, I thought the script was very good. Well, tightly written, which I really liked. The only downside of it, which I've said before, and it's just a bit of a nitpick, it's that, and they don't mention it in the film, but Leonardo DiCaprio's character is supposed to be 27 in this film. Now, you could give or take, and maybe, and they tried to make Leonardo DiCaprio look younger. I appreciate the makeup team for doing this, but when I was watching this film, in my mind, Leonardo DiCaprio was 35, maybe in his late 30s. So when I found out he was actually supposed to be this age, I was just like, no, that's not true. And then turned out to be true. And I was just like, what? That's wild. So, yeah, the kind of age thing threw me a bit. But then I quickly just brushed it off because the performances at the end of the day were all that mattered. Robert De Niro was scary. He was scary in this film. Yeah, he really was. And then Brendan Fraser has this really funny scene where he's in a courtroom and he's the lawyer of Robert De Niro because basically Leo's character is suing Robert De Niro because Robert De Niro kind of did all or initiated all the killings of the Osage. And Brendan Fraser is De Niro's lawyer, and Brendan is just like, I demand to speak to Mr. DiCaprio in my office by himself. And it's just like, what? What the fuck? It was really funny, but it kind of worked in the kind of weird scenario of this. Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon, go see it in the cinema. This is the film that I think needs to be seen in the cinema. Do I think it'll win Best Picture? No. I think it'll be a huge contender. I think it'll be a very huge contender. Do I think? No. I don't think it'll win Best Picture. I think it'll be nominated. And I think it might win the Golden Globe. But I don't think the Oscar. But yes, Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10. I really liked it. And I'm more of a fan of Martin Scorsese's newer stuff. Like, I like The Wolf of Wall Street. I like The Departed. I liked Gangs of New York was okay. And The Irishman. The Irishman was good for its craft. It was just very boring. Like, this is Martin Scorsese doing a 3.5 hour epic right. The Irishman, I could feel every minute of those 3 hours. Anyway, that is Killers of the Flower Moon. And the next film I want to talk about is no, actually, you know what? I'm going to talk about a TV show. A TV show that I literally just finished last night. Now, sorry, I feel like I've just been dabbling on and on. How are you guys? I am good. I have been working my ass off. Yeah, I've been going to auditions. I've been doing this, that, and the other. Yeah, it's just that it's so crazy when when you get older. No. When you get older, it is increasingly harder to allow yourself social time with other people. Like, I'm lucky in a sense that I have housemates who are here with me, and I can easily just go into one of their rooms or like knock on the door and just be like, hi, and chat with them for 30 minutes or watch a film with them. But apart from that, it's growing hard to like kind of go out there and text and hang out, because obviously people have their daily lives, and we want to hang out. But sometimes you're just an adult and you have other things you have to do, like you have work, or you have to do this, or you have to do life admin, or you have to just do fucking your laundry, literally. Like and I've just been. I feel like I need to remind myself that it's okay, and that sometimes you can just sit in your room for a day and just relax and just turn off. I feel like I have to be going at 90 at all times. I have to be working on my craft. I have to be going to workshops. I have to be going to the gym. I have to be making sure I'm eating right. I have to be like this. I have to be making sure I'm staying connected with all my friends. I have to be doing this. I just have to remind myself sometimes to just allow myself a day or two just to like be like, Terence, you're fine. You've done so much this past week. You've done so much the past 2 days. You can afford to just sit in your bed and just turn on a TV show, or just watch some TikTok. So I've been trying to remind myself of that. It's hard, but you know, we make do. And with one of those things that I've been trying to do and relax, I have watched this new TV show called Gen V. Now, Gen V is a spin-off series based in the same world as The Boys. Now, for those of you who don't know, The Boys is a Amazon Prime TV show based on a comic that is set in a world where superheroes are real. And it's almost like what would actually happen? Like, what would our world be like if Marvel heroes were real? Like, we would have the same kind of thing. These movies, they would be celebrities with social media and all that stuff. But also, it shows that they're also a huge problem because they abuse their powers. They try to overthrow government officials. They try to do this, that, and it really delves into what superheroes would actually be like in real life. And it turns out that Superman would be an asshole. So this series called Gen V, because in the original series, The Boys, it's revealed that there actually is no such thing as a born-bred superhero. It turns out that parents injected their children with this formula called, is it Gen V? No, it's not Gen V. Project or Serum V, I can't remember what it's called, to give their children superpowers so that they could become famous. They could become the new superheroes. They could become part of the Seven, which is the Justice League in that universe. So this is revealed, and so there are thousands upon thousands of superheroes kids who have grown up like severely traumatized because they have these unknown superpowers that in their world they don't know they have. So in this TV series, this world, they've created a college that these kids can come and train and work on their powers. So it's like, yeah, it's like a superhero college. So it's like, woo, cool, but it's also like really gritty and really stupid and yeah, so that's the premise of Gen V. It's in that world. It's really good. It's I really like how when you watch something that's trying to appeal to a certain generation or trying to show what college is actually like, most of the time they fail because they have a perception of what this generation is like or what college is like of this time. So it was really refreshing to see a TV show, excuse me, and actually see, oh, this is quite accurate. Like, yeah, hell yeah, they're all partying, they're drunk, they're on drugs, they're like doing all this shit and like but with superpowers. So it was really refreshing to see this creative team's take on this generation done accurately. Who directed actually? Oh, hmm. Who wrote it? Who wrote it? Production. Okay, no. Huh. Okay, it's developed, so I imagine, yeah. Um oh, it is based on one of the comics by the boys, um by Gareth Ennis and Derek Robertson, and it's developed by Craig Rosenberg, Evan Goldberg, and Eric Kripe. Oh, amazing. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Um, it's written by them, so kudos to them for actually portraying what this generation's experience of college is actually like. It's very like so when the boys was first brought in, it was kind of like a middle finger to Marvel. All the things I'm talking about are being brought back to Marvel. It's because Marvel, for lack of a better term, has been very tame in its violence and action and almost like positively askewed, like for example in like an old Avengers film, the Battle of New York City is like awesome, epic, these great shots, look at these guys like destroying everything. But then later on down the line in the MCU, the fucking Battle of New York was a travesty that like killed a bunch of people and was like considered an attack, basically a terrorist attack, which is wild. The boys universe like takes that and it's just like, what if like not if what if we actually reacted normally to these superhero battles? So the boys and Gen V in turn is extremely bloody and gory and so violent, extremely violent. Like there's a scene where one of the girls called Emma is trying to break a guy out of the prison they have in the college. Well, I mean, spoilers. He's trying to break them out of the prison. And Emma, her superpower is that she can turn really small. And it's really interesting because obviously in the comic books or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like Ant-Man just presses a button and he just turns small because of this technology. But and then even in old TV shows and superhero things, it's all like just a quick zoop and down. With Emma's character, the way she turns small, and it's really sad, and they really explore it really well, is that she has to throw up. So whenever she makes herself throw up, she gets smaller and smaller because her body is emptying the food that's in her stomach. So in order for her to get small, she has to like completely just empty her system. And it's horrifying to watch. But she turns small and she goes to save her friend, and the guard comes in And the fucking the guard's just like, "What's going on?" And the guy's just like, "Oh no, no!" And like he gets the guy down, but then Emma crawls into the guy's ear and goes out the other side. And when I tell you, they show every single detail of how that would happen. It is bloody. It's so bloody. It's so bloody. It's so messy and gory and iconic, to be honest. And it ends with the guy on the floor and literally her in this like giant, like obviously fake ear because that's how they filmed it. And it's her in literally a pool of blood. And that's what I really like because it's this obscure, like, fucking off the walls violence, but the characters are so well realized and well written. Like the main actress, Marie Laveau. Her power is like this blood bender, and when she was a child, when she got her period, um, her blood was like floating in air because like she didn't know she could control it, and then the mom comes in and checks on her, and that blood turns into like a knife that like stabs her mom in the eye. So she's like 11 years old having her period and then like accidentally killing your mother. And then the dad comes in and is just like, what the fuck? And then there's this huge explosion of blood, obviously from the mother pooling around, and it like stabs the dad as well. So you see her go through and try and like, she feels bad for killing her parents, that she wants to become a hero and save people because she wants to forgive herself for killing her parents. And the way like they handle it and the way they go through her, because she's very much like, I need to work, no friends, no nobody. That's what I need to do to make it into the superhero world. But in college, she learns that she actually needs the help of others in order to help save her friends. And to become a true hero, you need the support of others, which is really interesting. And it pokes so many jabs at Marvel, which I just love. Like there's one bit where a girl is talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this new series on this superhero that go processes her trauma through different decades of comedy styles, and you're just like, did she just call out WandaVision? She literally just called out. She was like, what? I was like, oh my god, because in WandaVision they portray her grief by going through different decades of comedy. So when I heard that, I was just like, that's yep, that's funny. And it's a very funny show. It's a very funny show. Obviously, it's like a very dark humor, but it's also like, yeah, it's really funny. And it really understands, it's like, it's not like an old 85 or like 75-year-old man just being like, oh, these kids are on Twitter, so we should have them make Twitter jokes. Or, hey, these kids are just on YouTube live streaming. We should just do that. They do make fun of that type of person, but it's never done in a sense where it's like, oh, sorry, I just got a weird message. Ooh. It's never done with this viewpoint of, this is obviously written by someone who's older who doesn't understand this generation. This is written by someone who clearly talked to someone or clearly knows people who have had these experiences. And yeah, no, Gen V, you're hooked from the first episode. Amazon Prime is doing really well with good quality like material, like this, The Boys, Invincible, Red, White, and Royal Blue. They're really like tapping into like good content, because before I don't even know what I watched. I think maybe The Marvelous Miss Maisie, I think it was called, was, and then I think there might be other stuff, but apart from that, I personally didn't really watch Amazon Prime until I watched The Boys and then in turn Gen V. So it is quite good, and it's a really good series. If you haven't watched The Boys, you don't have to watch this series to watch Gen V. It'll help you see Easter eggs and why certain characters come along. But overall, you don't need to watch The Boys in order to enjoy Gen V. Now, with that being said, I do have a bit of a nitpick because I watched the last episode last night. And last night, whatever day, this is coming out next week. So, yeah, time. I don't know how that works. Aha! So the way in which it ends kind of does depend on if you know certain characters, which I was just a bit like, okay. I knew this was going to happen, but so basically at the end of Gen V, Homelander and Billy the Butcher come in. Spoilers, big spoilers. Well, I told you that at the beginning, so whatever. Yeah, Homelander and Billy the Butcher come, and if you were a person who didn't watch The Boys and you see these two characters, you'd just be like, who the fuck are they? So if you're someone like me and I've watched The Boys, you're just like, oh, holy fuck. Oh my God. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. And also, weirdly enough, yeah, if you didn't know that, then that would affect your stance on it. But the season 4 of The Boys is going to be basically season 2 of Gen V. So it's kind of weird. Why would you make a spin-off series if you're basically just making season 4.2? No, season 3.5 of The Boys. Why would you call this a spin-off series if it's basically just season 3.5 of The Boys? It was a bit confusing because now in order to understand season 4 of The Boys, you have to watch the 3 seasons of The Boys and watch Gen V as well. If you miss out on Gen V, then you're actually missing an integral part of The Boys season 4. So I just thought the way they did that didn't make any sense. I kind of wish they were able to like separate Gen V and The Boys without them having to need each other to understand each other. If that would make sense. That's basically my only critique of it. And the way it subverts the expectations of like heroes and villains. So basically at the end, 2 characters basically are basically brainwashed by this idea that supes or superhero people are superior to humans. So we need to take over and we need to make sure that we're protected, that superhero people are protected. So we need to like attack the humans first. So at the end of the scene, there's this massive massacre that happens in the college caused by superhero people attacking specifically humans. And then Marie Laveau and all of her friends try to stop this. And they do stop it. But the way that the media in the TV show flips it is that the 2 people who caused the massacre and who are hunting the humans are seen as the heroes. And Marie Laveau and her friends are seen as the villains because they tried to stop it. So it's really interesting how they subvert and your views of what a hero is comes into question. It's very morally gray, like, of what a superhero actually is. Like, I remember even in the first episode of The Boys, the first couple episodes, there's like a scene where Homelander and Maeve try and save a plane that's crashing down. And Maeve is just like, okay, we'll do this. And Homelander is just like, we can't do anything. Like, I can't carry this plane. It's too heavy. I can't take each person out one at a time because there's no time. This plane is literally going down now. So there's nothing we can do. Like, there's nothing we can do here. And then Maeve is just like, what are you talking about? And then Homelander kind of like freaks the fuck out and threatens to kill all of them. And then he does in turn kill all of them by not doing anything. But then he flips the script and says that he tried his best. He tried so much. He did everything in his power to save these people, but there was nothing. Like, they couldn't do anything. So the media's just like, oh, Homelander did this. And then so the media thinks of Homelander as a hero, but he actually just let all the people die. So their views of a hero is quite interesting in this TV series. Um, yeah, I'd recommend Gen V. It's on Prime Video. It's 8 episodes. Each episode is 45 minutes, and they should be longer. In fairness, I really fucking love each episode. I'd the experience I was watching this was actually shock and awe, because this series surprised me so much with its plot twists and its different characters turning out to be different things. And I love the characters, I love the script, and I love the representation of this actual youth generation. I'd give this show a 10 out of 10. No, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 just because I don't like how you have to rely on the boys and Gen V to know each other. That's my views on Gen V. Now, the final thing we're going to talk about is a film that came out this summer. This episode is just all fucking material that came out this year. And you know what? I love material that came out like in the past 4 or 5 years. I think like because people like to shit on it and be like, "Oh, the cinema of the '80s, all this stuff is so good. They just don't do it like that anymore. Like, what happened to the good old days?" I'm just like, are you blind, or are you like just not watching anything that's coming out? Because the material we have gotten in the past 5 years, in my view, has been absolutely stellar and stacked and incredible. Like, it makes me excited for the future of cinema and filmmaking and the arts. I love it so much. I love it so much. I love it so much. I want to buy a ticket. I want to see a cinema. I want to see a film every single week in a TV series. I want to see this. I want to see that. That's how I feel. That's how I feel with the material we've been getting for the past, like, 5 years. Now, this last thing I'm going to talk about is a film called Past Lives. Now, Past Lives is a film, 2023 film, that is written and directed by Celine Song in her directorial debut, which stars Greta Lee and Teo Yo. This, so the way to basically put up a synopsis of this film is that it's about these two people who grew up in Korea, who knew each other as when they were children, and this guy and a girl, and they like grow up with each other until they're 12, and then when they turn 12, the girl has to emigrate to Canada with her family. Nora, yes, Nora. So Nora moves to Canada with her family, and there was something there between the two of them. There was just a connection. There was something, like they talked about, what if we get married? What if we do this? And the parents are just like, oh, they make a cute couple. And there's something there, but it's never acted on. It's like 75, 80% there, and they never act on it. And then obviously she leaves, and then 12 years go by. Now they've both obviously grown up and gone through college. Nora is in New York now, studying to be a writer. And the guy, whose name is Han, he is becoming an engineer. Han stayed in Korea, and yeah, it's Han stays in. Wait, I'm gonna production. I'm trying to. Where's the fucking plot? Here we go. Yeah, in Seoul, in South Korea. In Seoul, South Korea. Seoul, South Korea. Han stays there to become an engineer. Then obviously Nora is in New York, starting to become a writer. Then all of a sudden Han is trying to find her, because they basically cut ties and never had any contact. and he is trying to find her and trying to reconnect. And they find each other, but they only find each other through Skype and through FaceTime. So for about, I think, 6 months to like a year, they are talking to each other nonstop, and they are rekindling this connection that they have. And it's obviously such a connection, but they can't act upon it because just of the distance and of both of their careers, and like where they are and how they can move. So they talk to each other over Skype for a year, and your one Nora just goes, I think we need to stop talking because this is like, I'm actually getting sad that you're not here with me. Like, would you, like, when can you fly over? And he's just like, I can't fly over to you for about another year. And she's like, yeah, I'm working here on my book, and I can't just leave what I'm doing and fly over to you realistically again for another year. So they both decide at that moment that they're going to stop talking to each other. So they stop talking to each other, and then another 12 years go by. So it's 24 altogether. And they've built this intense, intense connection between each other. But during those 12 years, Nora has gotten married and is married for 8 years to this other writer who lives in New York. And Han has been living in South Korea, and who's been working there. He's become a full engineer. He's now able to fly over to New York, and he's like to Nora, hey, do you want to meet up? And so you see them talk, and what the film is very much a slow burner film, and in the sense of like, and if you want to get really like pedantic, nothing really happens. But in that same sense, everything happens. Because when he comes over and they discuss the potential, and it's the most heartbreaking thing to see the potential of what could have been. Because they both know that this will never come true, that this cannot happen because Nora is in a very healthy relationship with her husband. And even though Han is broken up with his girlfriends, him and his girlfriends are probably going to get back together because they love each other. But the way that they talk in this film is very moving because, like I said before, I'll repeat this until the cow comes home. It's the heartbreak of what could have been. Like there's one bit where they talk about what if you hadn't moved, and what if you had stayed here? What would have happened? Would we have fallen in love with each other? Would we have been married for 24 years? Or would we have been married for 2 years, got into an argument, broke up, divorced? Or would you have done this? Would I have done this? And it's just the beauty of kind of appreciating the people in your life and what you have, but also realizing that sometimes things just can't happen. Sometimes the directions you think you're going to go down are just never meant to be. And you can look at that potential not with sadness or with despair, anger. You can look at it with gladness and with, I am so happy that I got to talk to you and experience these feelings I had with you. Because in the whole entire film, they're never intimate. They're never physically intimate with each other. The only intimacy they have at one point is just a hug. They don't even hold hands. And there's a bit towards the end of the film which really got me. And it's so real in a sense because you don't know when your last moment is going to be with people. And not in a sense of the last moment like because something might happen medically or whatever and they might die, whatever. It's not just that. It's the sense of this might be the last time I actually see you. because we both know that if we keep going, that we're just gonna hurt each other because we both want each other, but we can't have each other. And so there's a scene. Basically, they're walking down the road, and it's sorry they're walking down a road, and it's the guy going into his Uber to go to the airport to go back to South Korea, and they're walking, and it's just silence, and it's just them walking with each other, him and Nora, and they're walking, and I actually can't remember what the last word he says, but they have this dialogue between each other that's just so short, sweet, and simple. And he gets into the car, and it just closes, and it goes off, and she's just standing there watching what could have been. And it's really heartfelt to watch because in a typical film, it would be her happy that she got to experience it. But we're human. We don't react like that. We react more intensely to different things. So her husband comes out, and also the husband in the film is a fucking champion. The wife, obviously, him and the wife have this discussion like years before he comes back into New York about Nora's like, hey, just let you know that this guy I used to talk to on Skype, and he's like an old friend who we grew up with. There was almost something there, and now he's coming over, and they have a discussion, and the husband is fully just like, yeah, go talk to him. Like I am so secure in our relationship that I know this nothing will happen. And she walks back to her apartment after watching the Uber go off, and the husband comes in and is just like, hi, and she breaks down and cries. Because it's also so nice to see that they have such a happy relationship that she can just break down and cry about the potential of what could have been with this man without worrying without her in fear of making her husband mad or jealous or anything like that. The husband is just like, I get you. I understand. Like I know. Just come. It just, you can cry it all out. It's fine. It's okay. Which is really beautiful. And it also really delves into how you change as a person. Like Nora says at one point that the girl who you fell in love with in South Korea is no longer here, but the memory is still there. Like she's here, but she's not here. And it shows how people can change. And so at one point, what we thought was going to be is never cemented in the future. And it's truly, like, I've just been going on about the film, and it's truly beautifully directed. The script is like so touching and so just beat for beat uses the lines when it needs to be spoken. And the cinematography is incredible. The acting, especially by the lead actress, who is Greta Lee. I said before that Lily Gladstone will probably win the Oscar for this. I can see a future where Greta Lee wins the Oscar for Best Actress in a Leading Role, because I truly believe that what she did with this character and just her subtleness and just her way of playing with fun and just the way she looks at potential truly moved me. This film is one of the best films I've seen this year. I think it's actually sorry. I've just realized I've been going on like a really serious a tyrant for the past like 10 minutes. But when people say this film changed my brain chemistry, honestly, this film changed my brain chemistry. Like, yes. If a film can do that and change your perspective of how you see things, then a film is well done. Yeah, this film is a 10 out of 10. And I really loved it. And I really think that everyone should get a chance to see this. Whether or not in cinemas or on your TV, it's just something you need to experience. It's a 10 out of 10. My experience of it was to be grateful for the potential I have in my life. And, it kind of reminded me of this. I'll wrap up in a bit. It reminded me, Brittany Broski, who I love very much. She is one of my favorite things. Not only is she really hilarious, she's also extremely insightful and intelligent. And she says, like, the pleasure in life or the meaning of life is to live the life you have. Whether it's just it's life experiencing itself. That is what we are, or what we go through. We are experiencing life together. This film made me realize that we should cherish our experiences that we have with each other, whether they are there for a while, or if they're there for a short time, or if they're just in little blips. Treasure and value those experiences, because there's no point in just... And obviously, I say that with positive experiences and all that jazz. But with the positive experiences and with the people that we meet who have positively impacted us, we need to treasure those. So, yeah. Those are my 3 items. Thank you guys for listening to another episode. I'm almost 100% certain next week I will have a guest, which I'm actually really excited to get back to. But make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and like this video. Or we also are on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Prime Music. So listen to me rant and rave and be serious, and then talk about Marvel for 15 minutes when you're actually talking about Martin Scorcese. So, and with that, I bid you adieu.